NASCAR champion owner Shige Hattori, dead at 61 years old from a head-on car crash in North Carolina. The Huntersville Police Department confirmed Monday that Hattori died in a head-on crash along North Carolina Highway 73. Hattori was instrumental in bringing Toyota to the NASCAR ranks and really instrumental to the TRD program, with reaching the pinnacle as an owner as Brett Moffitt's team owner in the 2018 Craftsman Truck Series championship. And of course, too, Hattori was a racer himself, running in the Indianapolis 500 a couple of times, winning some IndyCar races, and as a competitor of David's in the Truck Series. And David's also technical owner when David was running all those races with MBM Motorsports in 2021. You would see Shiggy's name listed as the team owner. So certainly unfortunate circumstances. Shige Hattori has died at 61.
David, what comes to mind when you think of him and working with him over the years?
Man, he was always just a great guy. I always liked talking to him, and you know, he was just a great person. We laughed a lot, and he just great stories about Shuggy. I was very saddened to receive that news that he had passed in an automobile accident. And it's kind of like, you just don't. It's shocking, really, when you get the news, and it's just a shame. He's done a lot in motorsports and in NASCAR, and like Dominic was saying, he was instrumental of bringing Toyota into NASCAR. He had a great relationship with Toyota, and man, he won the championship in the Truck Series in 2018, and and then he jumped over to the Xfinity Series there for a while, not only as a driver but as a team owner. It's just it's just hard to believe, to be honest with you, and saddened. You hear what happened, head-on collision, and he was a great driver, so it's just sad to hear that type of news, and still bad, you know what I mean? But he was always a fun guy. We always kidded around, and it was always fun to see him. And the stories in the past when years ago, a friend of mine was driving with him in a rent car, and they got pulled over for speeding. He acted like he couldn't speak English, didn't understand English, you know what I mean? So it was kind of a historical story to hear, and but he was a good businessman, great race car driver, did a lot in NASCAR, did a lot in auto racing himself, racing in 2 Indianapolis 500s, but just a great person. I was just sad to hear the news of his passing.
Had you gotten to see him recently, David, or interact with him?
No, it's been a while. It's been a couple of years since I've seen him, so it's been a while. So yeah, still just, but man was, he just, a major fixture in NASCAR racing for many years. I raced against him, and then after he somewhat retired from the driving part, then now became a owner, and man, built a really great racing team. To win the championship, that's not an easy task. In 2018, had a great driver, great sponsors, but it was amazing to see him win the championship in the Truck Series when he did. Just kind of shocking that he's passed. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, very sad news there.